How can you legally ship your firearm without going to jail? Because there are a bunch of laws out there that you may not know about. In this video, we're going to walk you through the ins and outs of shipping your gun, from how to ship them to which carriers are the best. And we'll arm you with the knowledge you need to know to get guns from one location to another. A quick reminder, before we get into it, we have a gun giveaway going on right now. It's free to enter, but it ends pretty soon. Just click the link in the description below to reveal which brand new gun you could win. All right, quick disclaimer. I'm not a legal professional and this video should not be substituted for actual legal advice. Laws vary and change often. Please consult a firearms attorney about the legalities of shipping firearms prior to doing so. This is all on you, personal responsibility. I'm just giving you some information. All right, first we're talking about federal firearms licensees. What does a federal firearms license have to do with mailing a firearm? First of all, individuals who sell, manufacture, import, or repair firearms, also known as dealers, are required to hold and maintain a federal firearms license. The FFL establishes that the person holding the license operates a legitimate, lawful business, registered and in compliance with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. An FFL not only allows the licensee to operate their firearms-related business, but also to ship and receive firearms in accordance with the federal, state, and local laws. So shipping firearms without an FFL. Those of us who do not hold an FFL but want to mail or otherwise ship a firearm, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency terms us as non-licensees. As a non-licensee, under basic federal law, your ability to mail a firearm through the U.S. Postal Service without the involvement of an FFL is what we're going to call limited. First up, you can ship a firearm to yourself in another state where you plan to hunt or engage in any other lawful activity. You must address it to yourself in care of that out-of-state resident. Once it arrives, no one but you can take possession of it or open the packet, so you must be at the destination in order to receive it. Second, you can ship a firearm to another non-licensed person in your state. While the post office will allow non-licensees to mail long guns to other non-licensees in the same state, it restricts its services for handguns and pistols to FFL holders. Non-licensees who want to ship a handgun are limited to contract carriers, which require you to ship your gun through an FFL holder. Third, you can ship a firearm to a person in another state only if you ship it to an FFL holder in that destination state. That is, if you wish to transfer a firearm to a non-licensee who resides in another state, you must ship that gun to a federal firearms license holder in your recipient state. The federal firearms license holder will release that firearm to the person once they have completed an ATF Form 4473 and complete the NICS background check. Even if you are shipping a gun for repairs, if your gunsmith is out of state, they must either hold an FFL themselves to receive your gun or go through an FFL to get that gun when you ship it to that FFL. While federal law allows you to transfer firearms to another person living within your state of residence, it also stipulates that you cannot knowingly provide a gun to someone who is prohibited from receiving or possessing one. Current federal law prohibits felons, abusers, violent offenders, and those suffering from mental illness from possessing guns. Some state laws go even further. A number of states require some type of background check, permit, or license for firearms that in many cases must go through an FFL or state agency. In some cases, no transfer can occur until the firearm recipient supplies proof that they can legally receive the gun. As with most gun-related issues, states run the gamut. For example, Maine does not impose restrictions. However, it does task its Department of Public Safety with helping firearms sellers who want to run a background check on prospective buyers. Connecticut requires that all long gun transfers must go through a federally licensed dealer complete with a background check. All handgun transfers must wait for an authorization from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. California mandates that all firearms transfers must go through a licensed dealer who must complete a background check. Period, no question. States implementing these types of restrictions include California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, the District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Washington. In addition, states determine what type of firearms and ammo they will allow. Georgia, Indiana, and Kentucky have no state limitations on firearms classified as assault weapon. On the other hand, California, Maryland, and Massachusetts ban certain weapons by feature. Those same states will often limit magazine capacities. As well as complying with all state laws, you need to heed your local laws and ordinances as well. For example, urban areas battling high crime rates often restrict the types of firearms permitted within their city limits. Restrictions don't always go by city either. Though Florida itself doesn't require background checks, some counties within Florida do. Ultimately, what you need to do depends on the exact address of where the firearm is heading. While sifting through the gritty details can be frustrating, getting it wrong can result in a seized weapon and some really stressful encounters with law enforcement. There are also laws that govern how you must pack a gun for shipping. The idea is to pack the gun so that no one has any idea that a gun is inside, and so it arrives safely and intact. I want you to choose a large, strong box with plenty of room for packing material to cushion the firearm. UPS, for example, mandates new corrugated packaging that meets its single wall strength guidelines. Also, ensure that the exterior of the box gives no obvious indication of the firearm inside. Federal law prohibits markings that indicate that the box contains a firearm. And you don't want to tempt any potential gun thieves. Third, do not include any ammunition. Ammunition has its own set of rules and it must travel as a separate parcel. Fourth, pack that firearm securely. The box should feel solid, with no rattling or shifting. Poorly packed rifles have been known to arrive at their destination with the barrel or the bolt protruding out of the box, with damaged buttstocks or even worse. Torn open at the mercy of strangers and the elements. Bubble wrap, pool noodles, styrofoam, sturdy packing paper, and wide tape are must-haves. Poor packaging can void your claim. A number of carriers ship firearms, and each has its own requirements. Always check your chosen carrier's website for the latest policies or changes. Check down below in the description because we have some of the current policies for the United States Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx. A quick look will confirm that each one has its own plan of action. If you're thinking of shipping a gun disassembled or piecemeal in separate packages to be reunited at the destination, you might want to reconsider. The ATF specifically states that rendering a firearm unserviceable does not remove it from the definition of an NFA firearm. In addition, frames, receivers, suppressors, and destructive devices are all considered firearms. When it comes to international shipping, according to the ATF, that exists in the realm of federal firearms holders. A licensee without an importer's license may make an occasional importation of a firearm for a non-licensee or for the licensee's personal use, but not for resale. In most cases, exporting a firearm requires a license issued by the U.S. Department of State's Directorate of Defense Trade Controls. Exporting sporting shotguns also requires licensing through the U.S. Department of Commerce Bureau of Industry and Security. Exporting NFA firearms requires the approval of an ATF Form 9 application and permit for the permanent exportation of firearms. So, to wrap this up, we've covered a number of ways you can legally ship your firearm, but keep in mind that there is a patchwork map of laws to contend with. At first, all the rules and regulations may seem off-putting, but asking a few simple questions and following the guidelines will help you get your firearms where you want them to go. If your head is spinning, remember that you can always just go to an FFL holder on your end and help you ship your firearm to where you want it to go. They may charge you a fee for their services, but you're paying for more than simple transportation. You're paying for them to keep the entire transaction legal so you can continue to enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of gun ownership. With that said, there are a couple of options to ship to yourself or another person if you follow the local requirements. Remember, don't ship a gun in an obvious gun container. Pack it well so it doesn't move in the box, and get a tracking number and insurance. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. Remind you again, we have that gun giveaway going on and it ends really soon. All you have to do is click the link below and reveal which brand new gun you can win. I'm Kevin Michalowski, Director of Content for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. If you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. We'll notify you every time something new comes out. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.